I'm Josh Evans, and this is my show. I'm a loving husband, a proud father, a mediocre guitarist, a fish taco lover, and I love to help organizations fix their cultures. That's right. So if you've ever been a disgruntled employee or you've ever had a disgruntled staff member, I'm here to help you fix it. So I help businesses build the right culture within their organizations to keep their employees engaged and their profits high. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my podcast. This is Josh Evans, and I'm honored to have you here. You know, I had this idea, and we'll call it more of an epiphany the other day. And what it really is the idea that all of our organizations, every company out there, needs to stop hiring mercenaries. Now, I'm not suggesting that your organization has some like slush fund or briefcases full of cash that you run over to guys with guns that are in fatigues. No. What I'm suggesting is that you have conditioned every single one of your employees into being a mercenary. And it's your fault. Because here's what happens, right? Here's what happens in any organization is you'll have this stellar employee that you like and they're doing a good job and they play the politics internally and they get all their work done and they do a really phenomenal job for you. And then 5-6 years in, all of a sudden they come to you, hey, just so you know, I'm taking another job. This is my 2 weeks. And you're like, what? I thought you loved it here. You were amazing for us. Why are you leaving? And what you didn't realize is when you brought them on, you focused on their tasks and their responsibilities and the job functions that they had to do. He said, and we're going to give you this certain amount of money for it. This is the stack of money that you're going to get to do and complete these tasks. And, your employee goes, okay, cool. You just traded their duties for money. Okay, if that's the deal you make, we've been doing it for decades. Heck, we've been doing it for the better part of a century now. This is the stuff you have to get done, and this is the money you get for completing it. And the second one of our competitors comes along and says, hey, oh, that's your list of tasks? I'll give you the same list of tasks to come do those for me, and I'll give you a little bit bigger stack of money. We cannot get mad at our employees when they decide to take more money. We've already conditioned them just to take the money. They're going for the highest bid. Their skill set's for the highest bid that they have. That's it. Pure and simple. We're just going to give them money. Here's money. Do these tasks. We can't get mad if they go take more money. You've turned them into mercenaries. So here's what I'm suggesting. Stop hiring mercenaries. There it is. It's that simple. It's that easy. It's you can understand that. As I said, it's not some guy in fatigues. No, it's every one of your employees that you brought on, and all you've worried about is giving them the title that they want, the amount of vacation that they want, giving them a list of the responsibilities, and then having one yearly review where you check in to make sure they're not leaving that day. It's sad. It's horrible. And you're ruining your organization by doing that. Because when you're allowing people just to trade their time for money or their skills for money, they don't care. They don't give a shit about your company then, and it's your fault when they leave for more money because all you've told them their worth is money. And so, in fact, it would be bad for them. They would have no self-respect if somebody offered them a little bit more money to go somewhere else. It's because you've conditioned them just to take the money. So we can't be mad when they take the money and run. We can't. We can't be upset about that. I worked for an organization a long time ago, and it's a small software company, this technology company, and we had one of our sales guys, right? I can honestly say he was a little bit better than me. He was good. He was really good. He was focused, and he hit his numbers, right? He always exceeded his targets. He was awesome. He was a nice guy in the office. He was willing to help, and he was just doing it because he was making a good living. He was helping us expand the company, and then one day, out of the blue, in one of our Tuesday morning meetings, right, our sales scrum meeting or whatever it was, we got together and he's like, oh, hey, I also want to let everybody know I just gave my 2 weeks to the boss yesterday. So if y'all want help with the transfer of the clients, I'm happy to do that over the next, 9 days left in the office. I'm happy to help. And all of us are looking at each other what the heck happened, dude? This guy, he seemed like he was here. He was committed. He wanted to help us. And then, boom, he's just gone. What the hell just happened? Well, fast forward, right, we don't have non-competes. We're in sales. We refuse to sign non-competes. But fast forward, 4 weeks later, his LinkedIn profile's updated or whatever it is, and boom, he's working at one of our competitors. And what it was is they came to us oh, you're selling this type of software? We have that type of software. Come sell it for us. We'll give you more money. Our company had done such a good job right? Of listing out exactly what he was supposed to do and giving him the exact numbers he needed to hit, and he did all of those things on task. And so when somebody came along and said, hey, just come do that for us, and we'll give you a little bit more, we can't get mad at him for leaving. But we had no idea it was coming. We had spent so much time. He was so good at his work. He was just good in his job. He helped every one of us out. He was part of the team. But the team doesn't matter if somebody gives you more money. I mean, look at any professional athlete. For a little bit more money, they'll go to another team. And then when their home team gets a little bit more money again, they'll circle back around and be like, oh, yeah, it's my big homecoming. We've seen that happen. I'm not going to list any names. But we see that happen all the time. And so we get surprised all of a sudden when one of our employees, who's been phenomenal, steps out and goes to one of our competitors for a little bit more money. And we're like, wow, what a horrible human being. No, they're just looking out for themselves. That's what you've taught them. We've conditioned them to not care about our company. We've conditioned them to only do the things we ask for the money we provide. You have to stop hiring mercenaries. That's it. Stop hiring mercenaries. Now, there's a couple of different things you can do, right? First off, you need to figure out if they're just in it for the money, you should let them go. But Josh, then we'll have empty seats all over the place. We won't have anybody working for us. That's your fault because you failed to create the environment and the culture that people want to be part of. Apple can pay people less money because they want to work for Apple. It's the honest truth. They want to be able to put that moniker on their LinkedIn. They want to be able to tell people they work there. They're willing to take a pay cut to work there. So what I suggest, you take the Zappos model. That's one of the best models out there. What they do is they bring you on, they onboard you, and then I just found out they just moved it to $3,000. But after your onboarding period, right, it's at 30 days or 90 days, something like that, they go, hey, guess what? I'll give you $3,000 to leave. We'll give you $3,000 just to walk away. And if somebody takes it, good. You're getting off cheap. Paying $3,000 to get a shitty employee off your team is cheap because usually it takes tens of thousands of dollars and years of having to deal with their BS before they're gone. No, you get off cheap. $3,000 is a cheap price to pay to get rid of rubbish. I think our other organizations should start doing that. We should start paying people to get the hell out of our offices. Pull all your employees in. Hey, you know what? Everybody here, I'll give you $2,000 right now to pack your shit and get out. $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, I don't care what it is, but you should get the people that are there just for the money shouldn't be there. If you want to build the right kind of company, if you want to have some sort of envy-worthy organization, you need to pay people to get the hell out of your organization so you have the right people, the people that are actually committed, people that actually care. The second thing you need to do to make sure you avoid these mercenaries is you need to spend a ridiculous amount of time, more time than you think you should, on not only developing the culture that you have within your organization, but in just ingraining it into everything that they do. They need to know why their job matters. They need to know the meaning behind every piece of their tasks and what you're doing for your clients and what you're doing for the industry, what you're doing for society as a whole, however grandiose you want to get. You have to provide that information because otherwise they're just going to do their roles and responsibilities. They're just going to do their tasks. They're just going to chase titles. I know people that have left for less money to get a better title at another company. They were mad that one of their friends got promoted to VP at their company, and then another organization comes along, we'll give you a VP ship. We can't pay you quite as much, but you'll get a VP. And they're like, oh, hell yeah. Because people are that fickle. We've trained them to be. So that's one way, right, is paying people to leave. The second, developing the culture the right way and ingraining it into every single employee. If you don't do that, you're doomed just to be surrounded by people that are in it for the money. So if somebody else comes along with more money, they don't care about you anymore. Not that they cared about you in the first place, but they have no loyalty. You can't buy loyalty. You know that. But we try. We try to buy it with healthcare. We buy it with 401k matching programs. We buy it with PTO. We buy it with company-sponsored trash pickup events. Company parties and Christmas parties. And we try to buy it with salaries and bonuses and commission structures. And you cannot buy loyalty. It's very naive to think that you're just going to pay somebody more money and they're going to work harder. No, they're going to do the bare minimum to keep their job because they don't care. Money doesn't make somebody care. It doesn't. All right, and the last thing that I'd have you do, right? If you wanted to make sure that you kind of avoided the riffraff, right? Avoid the mercenaries themselves, is you have to replace the clock punchers with rock stars. And while that seems okay, that's kind of abstract. It's not. What you need to do is go. Where are your low performers? Go find them. Get rid of them. I promise you won't lose much in the terms of productivity or profitability. You won't lose that much. But find out who the worst employees are, and if you can't train them up, you need to train them out. And then, you'll have a couple of empty desks, but you know how much money you'll save if you just wait for the right candidate? The right person, the rock star, the superhero to come into your organization. If you can get them to really care, they'll bring the entire level of success up within their entire team. It happens all over the place, right? You need to find people that are rock stars and get rid of the ones that are friggin' just half-assing it. That's what you have to do. You have to do that. I'll give you an example. So when I was in high school, I ran a little power washing company. And what it was is I bought a power washer and I'd power wash driveways. Well, a lot of times I didn't want to do all the work. I'm sure you know that. I didn't want to do all the work, so I would hire my friends to come out and power wash too. And so I had a couple of buddies that whenever they were available, I'd call one of them or I'd call the other, I'd split it between them. And one of my buddies, I'd tell him, hey, we got to power wash this driveway and this sidewalk and their patio. He'd be okay, cool. And he would just do it. And he'd do a fine job. And so I'd pay him for his hourly wage, right? Or I'd split part of what the owner would pay us. And then I had another buddy. Right? I'd call him, hey, you know what? I got this house. Will you come out? We power wash. Sure. He's like, all right, great. I need you to power wash this part and this sidewalk and this entry area. And he'd be like, okay, great. And I'd leave, and then I'd come back and it's going to say, hey, just so you know, I talked to the neighbor too. They want to do it. They want us to power wash their driveway as well. It's like, well, that's awesome. Yeah, man. Let's do that one too. In fact, I'll up your rate. I'll give you more an hour since you brought it in. He's like, oh, that's cool. This guy wasn't just doing the bare minimum of his work. He actually cared. He wanted to help my business succeed because he knew it meant more to him. And yeah, that was a monetary trade-off, right? But I was like, look, my end game is to get another power washer, and you can go do it full time. You can make way more money. And so we had this discussion. We had this arrangement, with this agreement to where he knew that he wanted to expand my business, and he was in a position to do it. He wasn't doing the bare minimum. He actually cared. He actually wanted to help. And therein lies the difference. That one guy, the second guy, was a rock star. He was awesome. The first guy, he did the bare minimum. He did what he was paid to do, and that was it, which is fine. He was a mercenary. The other one was a friggin' rock star, right? He was an evangelist. He was helping my organization grow and get more clients. So guess what? The next time I got a call and said, hey, we need somebody to come power wash this driveway, who do you think I was more likely to ring up? It was my second buddy, the one that was going to ask the neighbors if they wanted theirs done. And see, that's the kind of employees we need to cultivate. We have to get rid of the people that are half-assing their jobs. Get rid of the people that are just filling chairs and punching clocks, waiting for Friday. Get rid of them. Bring in the rock stars. Bring in the people that are going to actually do something. The people that care. And you're not going to get there unless you become an evangelist for your own organization, right? Unless you build the right culture, unless you actually focus on creating that and then cultivating that internally, you're going to be stuck with just a pile of mercenaries that'll leave for a few more dollars. So those things you can do, again, to make sure that you get rid of those mercenaries, those three things, right? The first thing is, if they're in it just for the money, get rid of them. The second thing is, you have to ingrain the culture into every single employee. You have to give them the meaning behind their work. Don't just tell them what they need to do. Don't talk about what their role is or what somebody in their role does. Talk about what their role means. Because then they'll actually care. The third thing, the final thing, is you have to get rid of all the people that are just filling space and replace them with rock stars. That's how you do it. It's that simple. It's that easy. It's that easy. I had a client recently, and this is just kind of an aside. I had a client recently, and we were talking, discussing. He's like, hey, Josh, I have this employee. They've been here for a few years. They're pretty good. But, I think they're looking for another job right now. I was like, what? He's like, well, we just kind of checked on them, and they've recently updated their LinkedIn, which isn't a big deal, but I also found an updated version of their resume printed on our company printer. Now, hold on a second, right? Now somebody's printing using your company resources to try and find another job. I mean, that's kind of grounds for dismissal already. But why didn't this person bring it forward? No, because this person thought they could go get more money somewhere else because they're uncommitted to their organization. So when I'm talking to my client, I was like, man, Ben, this is really bad, dude. Obviously, this person is unhappy. Otherwise, they wouldn't be looking. Obviously, they think they're worth more. So there's a couple of conversations you need to have. And the first thing I brought up was like, are they paid as much as they're worth? And he goes, actually, I think we're overpaying this guy a little bit. And I was like, well, Ben, once you say that you're overpaying this person and they're still unhappy, they probably don't need to be there anyway. But if you talk to them about what's making them unhappy, is there new policies or is there new things? Like, well, we instituted this new thing where they all have to put all of their sales information into our CRM. I was like, a lot of people don't like that. There's a lot of salespeople that push back against that. But if it's your policy, that needs to be part of it. So maybe they're looking for another organization that's not going to be so heavy-fisted with that. But you know what? If their heart's already not in it, because if they're shopping for another job, their heart's probably not already in it. Or if a recruiter reached out to them and goes, hey, why don't you send me an updated copy of your resume? They're obviously not committed. Because if somebody's committed to their role and a recruiter calls them, they'll be like, screw you. I don't want to talk to you. No, I'm happy. No, I don't know anybody that would be interested. That's what they would say. But the second somebody goes and starts updating their resume, starts actually looking, starts trying to negotiate things, their heart's already not in it. You don't want that person on your team. Even if they don't leave, now as the manager, And I was telling Ben this. I was like, Ben, that this person's heart's not in. He's like, well, their heart really hasn't been in for a while, but they're still doing okay. And I was like, doing okay is not what's right for your business. You need somebody that's doing great. And he goes, well, so you're saying I should fire them? And I hate to use that term, but instead of fire, I said, what you need to do is you need to provide them with the opportunity to focus fully on finding their perfect job. So yeah, you're going to have to fire them. And, bless him. My client, Ben, he didn't want to hurt their feelings. It's like, you're the one whose feelings should be hurt. They're the ones out there looking for something else. They're the ones that are unsatisfied with where you've put them. And so it's really on them. You're merely providing them the opportunity to go find something that's more fulfilling. And that's what you need to focus on. So if you're like Ben, if you're in like a position like that where you're in a leadership role and you think you have a couple of employees that have like checked out and but stayed, you need to get rid of them. You're not doing them a favor and you're not doing your organization a favor by keeping them around, right? Get rid of those people that are just half-assing their job. Get rid of the people that are just collecting a paycheck. Your organization will be better. Even if you're shorthanded for a little bit, you can find somebody that's actually going to be committed and actually going to care about what your organization is trying to do. Anyway, once again, stop hiring mercenaries. It's important. It's essential. And I want to thank you so much for joining me on my podcast today. It really has been enjoyable. If you want to know more about me, you can check out my website, joshuaevans.com, or hit me up on any social media at enthusiasticyou, YOU, and I'll, probably retweet or text back at you or message you or whatever you want to do. So have a great rest of your day and stay awesome.